Hey, what's up, homies and love bugs? And welcome to another How To Tarot. I'm so juiced. Y'all have no idea. I've just put a lot of love into these. The feedback has been yummy, and I just love and appreciate you. Thank you for coming back. You know, I always attach my Venmo and my PayPal information down below, but honestly, the best way that you can give back is to share these videos and to help these messages reverberate out. Your girl is a single mom out here just trying to make miracles happen. Once I reach 1,000 subscribers, I can monetize my videos and make money from YouTube by doing what I love. So that's honestly the best way. I thought I felt naked, my glasses. Okay, so let's motherfucking get into the lesson. I've got some juicy things planned for us this week. So the first place I want to start today, first of all, we're gonna do a pick a card. So each lesson will have at the beginning of the lesson, we're gonna pull out all the Major Arcana cards. I'm gonna pick one at random and we'll kind of delve into that for a couple minutes. Then I'm gonna go into how to cleanse your deck, how to connect to your deck, how to protect yourself, some basic etiquette when working with others. And then, friends, we're gonna delve into the swords, okay? I put them all in order, but maybe I shouldn't have. Let's start with the first one. We don't need to pick one at random, okay? So let's start with the Fool. He is the very first card in the Major Arcanas. Remember, the Major Arcanas consist of 22 cards. The complete deck is made up of 78 cards. Everything together, 78. Major Arcana has 22 cards, and the Minor Arcana has 56. So that's 22 plus 56 equals 78, okay? And the very first Major Arcana card that comes in this deck is the Fool card. So let's talk about the Fool. So that's not a very nice name now, is it? But the beautiful, and with tarot, every card, most cards have a shadow side and a strength. Okay, so a lot of times readers this would be the strength of the card, the good characteristics of the card if it came upright, and if it came reversed, the reader would probably delve into the shadow aspects. There are a few exceptions. We'll go over those as we come across them. Let's talk about the strengths of the Fool card. Well, look at him. He looks carefree, okay? He looks like not a care in the world. He is the Fool because he is like a child. He has childlike faith. He is the beginning. He's the number 0 of the tarot deck. So he's not even begun the journey. He's on the brink of starting his journey. Okay, so when somebody gets this card, you know about them that they are in a space in their life where they're starting all the way over again, which can be overwhelming. But you want to ensure the client, you want to ensure the person that you're reading that it's an exciting thing. It's exciting, okay? The shadow aspects of the Fool card. Well, what are the opposites of being like a child? Well, being foolish, not thinking about all of the possible pitfalls, being immature, not really planning ahead, impulsive, like a child, okay? That's how you would kind of read the Fool card. Like I said, disclaimer, I'm always going to give you the way I describe the cards. That's why it's good if you have purchased yourself a book. This is the one I mentioned in the last episode. It doesn't have to be this one. A lot of the books will have varying explanations to the cards as well. So it's good to kind of come up with your own, but also kind of validate that or strengthen that with other books and other research, okay? The biggest thing I really want to stress to you guys is faith. Faith and trust in the process, huh? Perfect for this card, faith. Another key word for this could be faith. Faith in the unknown. You really want to know that, you really want to begin when reading the cards, learning the cards, that whatever feels right to you is what's going to make you the most authentic reader possible. So if you have a version or a definition of the card, if you feel like a meaning of the card never really matches the definitions you find in those books, many times I'll find that how I look at the cards isn't exactly how the book is describing it. And it's the faith and the intuition that I've been able to really cultivate within myself during this whole practice and lesson in this journey of reading cards. You really want to read the way that makes you feel good. Okay? You never let anybody guilt you into how you read. Okay? That's a big lesson for me. So, there's our Major Arcana lesson for the day. Let's move into when you get a brand new deck. Look. I don't always do this, but if you're beginning and you're still trying to connect, maybe you feel like you don't have a very strong connection to your intuition yet, these are good practices to do. I don't always do them, but I do them sometimes. Okay, so it kind of just depends on the deck, how the deck makes me feel. When I get a deck and I'm like, I really love it, I definitely do these practices because I want to be connected to the deck. They say you should sleep with the deck under your pillow for 3 nights. My ears started to tingle, ring. So it's nice to sleep with the deck under your bed or under your pillow for 3 nights to get connected with them. Just holding them a lot, just having them in your hand, shuffling them, moving them around, looking at all the pictures, especially if you get different themed tarot decks. It's nice to look at all the pictures. You just want to spend time with it. They say 3 days. Doesn't have to be. It could be a night. It's whatever makes you feel. You just want to get your zhuzh on there. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to, it doesn't have to be perfect, okay? You'll find the more that you do this, the more decks you buy, the more readings you do, you'll find your own swag, okay? You'll find your own swag. And for me, the swag is offhand, how do I connect with the deck? Do I really love it? Then I want to sleep with that shit. Or is it just kind of like, oh, that's cool, I'll come back to it. Then I'll put it away with all my other decks and wait to come back to it, okay? So that's how you want to connect with your deck. Look, cleansing and protection are important. So it's good to cleanse prior. The way that I cleanse is I either ring a bell, right? It sends out a vibration out into the air, into the atmosphere that's kind of clears and cuts through. There's all kinds of sprays you can have. There's rose water sprays. I use a eucalyptus spray. Amazon, I'm pretty sure you can get, this was a gift, so I don't know where you can purchase it, but probably Amazon. This I got hella long ago and I don't even know how it's still around. I use it frequently. It's like magic spray. It's eucalyptus. I say magic just because I actually think I've had this shit since I was like a teenager. Sage is another great way of cleansing your space. In between readings, you see me during my readings, I knock on my decks. It's just a way of knocking the old energy off of the deck, letting the cards know you're just, it's a quick way of just kind of cleansing and stepping into a new energy with your deck, okay? I do it frequently during the readings. You want to, everybody's different, but one rule I never, ever break, for real, is a prayer of protection prior. So, this is my prayer of protection. Heavenly Father, Holy Mother God, archangels and ascended masters from the highest of the high, from God's beautiful pure white light, I ask that you surround and protect me tonight for this reading. And then I'll elaborate a little bit just depending on if it's a particular client. I use their first and last name. If it's a reading for Instagram, I say for the viewers on Instagram. If it's a reading for YouTube, I'll say for the viewers on YouTube. And I always ask for the highest good. So if painful things come out, it's for the highest good and you just have trust and faith in the process, okay? So always want to make sure you're protected because you just want to be safe. Okay, you just want to be safe. You don't want to let anything in that has poor intentions, right? We always want to keep the highest good for all involved, especially for myself and my home and my space. So another thing that kind of goes hand in hand is grounding. As you can see, I have some singing bowls here. Different tones, pitches. Each is a different tone for each of the chakras. One is a root chakra, one is a throat chakra, and the other is a sacral chakra. Eventually I'll have them all, but they take up a lot of space. And so I use these to really ground my energy and feel a deep connection. When I do that, I visualize that I'm a tree and my feet are rooting deep down into the soil and the earth, and I can smell the dirt. Okay, you really want to get grounded, because sometimes with these with readings, they can be so exciting that we can really not be grounded. It can kind of, look friends, it can trigger psychosis of some sort. Now, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a therapist, I'm not licensed, so don't quote me, but if you do this for too long without resting, proper nutrition, proper sleep, you need to sleep, you can tap into things that can be scary, medical conditions and things like that. You got to do more than singing bowls, you got to sleep, you know what I'm saying? So, but that's just the way I ground prior to a reading. As far as etiquette, let's do a separate video on that. I was going to go into that more deeply, but that's kind of like a whole different thing that I would rather. One other thing. I learned this from my tarot teacher. Hey, Joanne. She found me on here and she subscribed. I'm like, I feel like my mommy's watching me, kind of. One thing she did teach me is when you own a deck, it's like sharing your toothbrush to loan your deck out and to let another reader read with your cards. Big no, because we've created this kind of sacred bond with our decks. You know what I'm saying? We've attached to these decks. It's got Major all over it. I never let anybody else use my decks to do reading. Okay, vice versa. I had considered, like I said I was going to do before, I wanted to start with the swords, and then I talked to my girl Sarah. Hey girl, hey. She was like oof, swords are heavy, and I was like, I know, that's why I want to do them first to get them out of the way. So I considered doing pentacles first, but I think we're gonna bring it back to swords, kind of get them out the way. Remember, swords are the cards that are ruled by air signs, okay? Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. The order of the minor arcana, so remember, these are minor arcana cards. They're the suit of the swords, and there are 14 cards in this suit. There are 14 cards in each of the 4 suits, okay? So swords are air sign cards, Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius. This is the way it works. The aces, which are always the first card in the suits, which represent number 1. Aces represent number 1. Okay, so hence the shape there. It looks like a strong number 1, correct? So our aces are always the first card in the suit. So let me just give you an example here. So the Ace of Pentacles looks like this. And all of the aces have this theme of like a hand coming from the clouds handing you a gift, okay? So this is how we remember the Ace of Swords. Now, what are swords? We said swords are air element. What does that mean? Swords represent, this is how I remember it, swords represent the head, okay? So they represent our mental state, our thinking processes, our thought processes. They represent how we hear information, okay, our head, how we perceive information, how we see information, and also our voice, okay, part of your head kind of coming out your mouth. How you communicate. They're communication, they're the suit of communications. So listen, 20 different tarot readers can each have the same 5 card spread, yet each of their explanations of the spread will be different, because these 20 different people have a set of life experiences and perspectives. The things that they've seen in the world are not alike. So they're gonna communicate the spread in a different way each time. So swords are how we perceive the world. Okay, so let's start with the Ace of Swords. So this is a card. One of the key words is deserve, deserve. How can we remember that? Well, look at it like this. All the aces come from the clouds. So all the aces in my eyes come from God. All the aces come from spirit, anything that we cannot see. Angels, ancestors, guides, they are letting us know that you deserve mental clarity. You deserve to be a good communicator. You deserve to be able to deal with people and hear other people's perspectives and have a clear understanding of what they're saying without jumping to conclusions. You deserve to have a clear mind so that when you take that test, you're able to think clearly and get the best grade possible. You deserve to have complete clarity. This usually will come up when it's speaking about somebody having, you know, a hard time. Let's say they're going through a heartbreak or a loss type of situation. Sometimes this will pop out at the end or somewhere within the spread to let the person know, but have no fear. Your team is on your side. They're up there looking out for you, trying to help you clear the path, clear your perspective, clear your mind so that you can move forward confidently. Another thing about aces is that when you get a lot of shitty cards, when you get aces, they tend to kind of overrule or give the harsh cards less emphasis. They're magical cards, right? They're special spiritual cards. So that's why they do that. Since this is a 1, the next card we have up is a 2, right? Roman numeral number 2 at the top. Okay, 2 of Swords. Look at the scene. It's nighttime. It's dark. The moon is out. What does the moon represent? The moon represents emotions, right? An emotional time. The moon represents going deep within our subconscious, okay? And look at the background as well. It's not only nighttime, so nighttime can be a scary time, but there's water. Water signifies our emotions, so more themes of emotions, depth, going deep. It's also a number 2. 2s are the numbers of couples, right? And also choices. Look at her 2 swords. This way or this way. Not only that, but she's blindfolded. So she can't fucking see. So it's a rough time for this lady. She can't see, yet she has these 2 long ass fucking choices, aka swords, and she's got to figure out which way to go. So the meaning of this card is to learn how to go within in order to make these difficult situations that feel heavy and emotional. Okay, choices, couples. So anytime we see 2s, right? Decisions, choices, directional, very directional. The 3 of Swords, okay? As I'm moving through this video, I'm starting to feel like what's gonna work to help you guys and what's not gonna work. And I'm realizing to go over all 14 cards and give you my definition isn't gonna be very exciting. So what I wanna do is just kind of briefly go into how the cards make us feel, okay? 3 of Swords, pretty self-explanatory. Heartbreak, right? Pain, loss, right? 4 of Swords. What's the guy doing? So he's just come home from battle. He's taking time out to rest and recuperate. Okay, this is about going within, getting still. Remember, it's Swords, so it's about communication. So we want to kind of block out all the chatter that's going on around us and really go within. Here we have the theme of betrayal. Look at this little sneaky guy. This is the 5 of Swords. Remember, a good way to remember 5s, just in general, they're the numbers of challenges and change. So this is a very challenging looking card, so hence it being a number 5, right? Number 6 is getting over the hump, right? Think about the 5. The 5 is in the center, right? So getting over the hump, getting to the slightly easier part, right? 6. So we've left a rocky time. We're leaving this rocky situation. So we're moving into calmer seas. We look at the position of the swords, how they're straight down into the boat. So we're taking a stance. We have made a very concrete decision and we're taking off, okay? This can even be about travel, you know, hence the boat on the water. 7. Dun, dun, dun. This sneaky son of a biscuit. Look, he's taking way more than his fair share, and the dude is happy about it. He's a little sneaky little guy. So this can be about treachery, thievery, just sneaky. He looks a little sneaky. That's my take on it. I've actually heard other people say, I forgot. I had a friend that had a definition that was like, blew my mind because I just didn't see it that way. Maybe a sense of feeling pride or something like that. But I think technically this card is a little bit of a sneakier card. So really, we're looking at how do the cards make us feel? Look at this. How you think she feels? Fucking trapped, right? And a lot of the times, so you're like, okay, so what do I tell a client? What do I tell somebody when I get this card? Because clearly she's not physically trapped. She's not in prison. She's not trapped in her house. This is about feeling, look, her eyes are covered. It's a mental state. It's a place that we feel that we really are this way, but it's really about our perspective being skewed, feeling like we're not trapped. If you look closely, I'm trying to get these to focus, but I'm having a little bit of trouble. If you look closely at the card, her ties are not very tight. So she could wiggle out, but she thinks she's more trapped than what she really is. Insomnia, sleeplessness, anxiety, depression, right? Dead. Over it. Just fucking kill me now is the feeling of this. Whenever I pull this card, I don't know if y'all have noticed, I'm always like, ooh, ooh, ooh. I'm always kind of taken back when I first pull this card because it's a rough card. It's rough. Okay, so let's talk about the court cards. They say that the court cards, these are the court cards, Page, Knight, Queen, and King, they come in this order. Technically, I honestly feel like it should be Queen should be last because we make the babies, but they, you know, they put the king last because, you know, it is what it is. We want to look at the court cards like a progression, like we're moving through the ages, okay? So we start off with the adolescent, the Page, we move on to the young adult, and then we move on to the more mature man and woman, okay? So when we get court cards, these are our court cards. Every suit has 4 court cards. They are indicators to actual people influences in our lives, in the client's life. That's one way of looking at the court cards. Another way of looking at it is if they're not actually people, they're situations with that feel to it, situations that are in the development process, right? Adolescence, in the development phase. That's a keyword I always use for pages. For the Knights, these are already in progress, moving ahead situations, okay? And then the King and Queen type of situations are like stable, already been in the works type of situation. Okay, remember I said I was going to talk about the elements for each of because girlfriend, boyfriend, homie, lover, friend, like I said, they shift within each suit. So this is what I learned, y'all. I had to do my research and I learned all aces are just whatever that suit is. So this is the suit of air. The Ace of Swords are all air signs, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, okay? So same thing with Pentacles. The Ace of Pentacles are all earth signs, Virgo, Capricorn, and Taurus. The Ace of Wands are all fire signs, Aries, Sagittarius, and Leo. And the Ace of Cups are all water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. The first 3 cards after the aces, so 2, 3, and 4 of Swords, are all cards of Libra. So these are Libra cards. Now I know it's a lot. We could nitpick it down for years for sure. But I'm just letting you know. Like I said, when I read, if it's a sword, it's an air sign. And I will nitpick a little bit with the Major Arcana associations, that's something else. But when it comes to the suit of swords, I'm going to be like, girl, he's a Libra, Gemini, or Aquarius. So it's up to you. But technically, these are the Libra cards, okay? The first 3. The first 3 after the aces. The next 3 after these are all Aquarius. So the 5, 6, and 7 cards are cards of Aquarius. Which I'm like, for real, I'm an Aquarius mood. So I'm like, these are no thank you, okay? The next 2 are Gemini. So that's interesting. Gemini gets 2. So the 8 and 9 of Swords are Gemini cards. And girlfriend, this shit is Mercury in Virgo card. So I don't know where the fuck they get that from. I guess because he's on the earth. He's dead. It's a death process. Is a very earthly process. Mercury in Virgo. There you go. And in the book that I read, all of these are air sign cards. All right. Take notes if you want. You can go there if you want. But in my opinion, it's whatever you want to do. Whatever makes you feel happy. If that's easy for you to remember, then girlfriend, do your thing. All right. So this is how we're going to end this lesson. I'm going to go ahead and randomly pick 4 in total. So 2 will specifically be swords so that we can use swords in a reading, and so you can kind of see the relationship they have with each other, and what you'll be able to see me read and why I'm reading the way I am, and I'll give you in-depth explanations for those. So let me mix these up. I'm gonna purposefully leave out the Major Arcana cards because we're just going to deal with the details today, okay? So keyword for Minor Arcana cards would be the details. It's all in the details. So let's pick off the top. Okay, Ace of Swords. 6 of Swords. And then let's pick 2 cards out of this. Okay? Let's read them upright. Let's not get too complicated right now, okay? Just one more. Okay, 6 of Cups. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these 4 cards and I'm going to mix them up so that we can read them in a different order. Let's see what comes out. Okay, here's our reading, okay? It's a 4-card spread. Somebody wants to know. Let's do general reading. Let's just see what the story is here. There's always a story. I like to read from left to right like I'm reading a book. Many people like a set like there's the Celtic cross. We should go over that one week too. So there's so many spreads. I have a book right here. Look. Like you could be looking at spreads for your whole life. You can make up any spread. 365 tarot spreads, right? So you can do anything you want. We're going to call this a 4-card general spread. And spreads can have positions like this is your challenge, this is what crowns you, this is what crosses you, this is what's hidden, this is what's from your past, this is your, there's all kinds, but I like to usually, unless people have a very specific question, if people have a specific question, I have different spreads I use for those people. But when people just want an open reading, they kind of want to see what's going on, I read like a book. Top to bottom, left to right. So here we have the 6 of Swords with the Ace of Swords, 3 of Wands, and 6 of Cups. Here I see a situation, somebody's leaving a rocky time. If you can see, this water down here is pretty choppy, and the water here in the back of the scene is more smooth, right? So they're leaving a choppy, rough time, and they're going into smoother seas, okay? They've taken a stance and they're ready to go. Spirit is coming in and they're helping clear the way for their journey. They want to make sure that the client can move forward confidently and have a peace of mind about the path that they're embarking on. It's a time in the client's life where they've really had to step back and look at how things have transpired. Look at this man, he's up on a cliff. He's looking down. I know it looks yellow down there, but that's actually the sea. There are ships there in the distance. So he's looking at the ships that have set sail. Look at the checkered image on his robe, kind of indicating to us like the checkered flag we see in NASCAR, at the finish line, okay? So he's completed something. He's moved on, and he's just taking a step back to look at the foundations that he's built. It's a number 3. 3s are very stable, right? We put up, my camera's right now sitting on a 3-legged tripod. So we're looking at stability. So even though this man has possibly left a tumultuous time, he feels confident and he's taken a stance in moving forward. 6 of Cups, perhaps he's making this choice in order to better his future for his children. Or perhaps he made this move because it has something to do that stemmed from his childhood. 6 of Cups card talks about, well, look, there's children there. It's a brother and a sister. They're in the garden. They're playing. So we're thinking about sentimental things, nostalgia, thinking about our past or thinking about our children or the children in our lives. So this man or this person has made a choice to leave something dark, to leave something rocky. He's getting help from spirit. He's guided. He's taking a step back. He's evaluating all the choices he's made, and he knows he's done it for the better of his children, or for to heal his childhood wounds. Okay, I hope that brought some sort of peace of mind for the swords. Know that the swords are a very important suit in the deck because they are our mastery in how we show up in the world. They are how we communicate, how we speak about others, how we hear things, see things, perceive things, and how we think about things literally shapes our reality, right? So swords are important. I did them first because they're kind of the heavy sword. They're kind of the heavy cards. They're the kind of the cards that, like, when they show up, I'm like, fuck. But they're very important, and they have such powerful lessons within them. We're gonna get into the Pentacles next week, all right? And next week, I think we'll do some close-ups on some spreads. So we'll talk about spreads next week as well. You know, like with this video, I introed with like how to cleanse and connect and ground and protect. Next week, I think we'll open with spreads. It just dawned on me that most people love spreads. I tend to stray away from them because they feel restrictive, but they can be a lot of fun if you know how to use them, and if you have really specific personal reasons for them. You can even make up your own spreads. You know what I'm saying? You can get real creative with it. So we'll talk about spreads next week as well as along with the Pentacles. Okay, love bugs. Hey. Listen, I am truly fulfilled by this work. If you've not really seen any of the other stuff I've put out, I always try and exude a great deal of appreciation and respect for you, and gratitude for you watching, because this has been a dream to get up on here and to talk and to teach and to share with y'all what I've learned, and to help people find ways to empower themselves. And so whenever you guys watch, I'm literally, like, you're literally pouring more love into my heart. So I just want to say I really appreciate you for watching. I love you. I hold space for you, and I know you hold space for me. Please share these videos if you feel moved to do so. It's better than money. Thank you for watching. You know, every week I'm learning, and I will constantly be tweaking and changing the way I'm teaching, just by learning and rewatching myself. And see you next week. I fucking love you. Thank you for coming back, and I'll see you next week. All right, y'all. Bye.